Today I'd like to show you this Sola Busca tarot by Scarabeo. I was really disappointed to miss out on Scarlet Imprint's publication of the Sola Busca tarot. I think it was earlier this year, possibly it was last year. It's now available at ridiculously high prices. It was a limited edition, and when I found this museum quality Sola Busca, I thought, you know what, I'll pick that up, and I'll also pick up a copy of Peter Mark Adams's The Game of Saturn, which I will do a review of at another time. I'm in the middle of reading it. It is fantastic. Just a quick teaser there. For the moment, I just wanted to show you this tarot deck, just to also let you know that I don't expect to be using this for divinatory purposes. It really is. Well, first of all, I don't think this particular edition is ideal for divination. I'll go into that a little bit more in a moment. First of all, let me show you how cool this box is. Let's get a nice close-up of that UV spotting. How lovely is that? Really, really beautiful box. Yeah, I mean it's not the snake skin of the Scarlet Imprint version, but I think that as far as mass market goes, this goes way beyond. Okay, I really like the way it opens. Also, you can see, because of the right angle there, the lid just stays open. And you get this little ribbon to help you out with the book, which is, it's not a little white booklet, it's a massive book, but actually it's the same thing 6 times over in 6 different languages. The text is by Andrea Vitali, and it's... I was interested to see that it doesn't really overlap at all with what's in the Game of Saturn. It does go into speculation on the probable origins of this early Renaissance deck. Very interesting, but while Peter Mark Adams goes into the probable Mithraic practices that most likely inspired the designs of the Sola Busca. This really stays along the lines of Christian interpretation, and the possibility, he does entertain the possibility that it is alchemical. Okay, so that's as far as this really goes. He then goes into each of the trumps to describe the character who is depicted there, the trumps, and in fact a lot of the court cards represent supposedly well-known Roman figures, but they're not so well-known. Some of them are quite well known, but in fact the majority are not so well known. And anyway, regardless, I'll probably go into that a little bit more in my next review of the Game of Saturn. So that finishes there, and then there are a couple of pages, literally I think it's three pages of meanings and interpretations for if you do intend to use this for divination. They're just very general descriptions of what each of the trumps are. It's very light, as you can see, very lightweight. And then for the pips, you just get this a general description of what each number is, each court figure, and you adapt that depending on the suit that you have. So that's as it's as deep as it gets. I think that it's fine. There's nothing terribly wrong with it. I think that with this becomes quite redundant. Let me get to the deck itself. have this great, again, this this ribbon device, which is very helpful. The cards are very laminated, okay, very shiny, very smooth, very slippery. All right, so yeah, you can see just how slippery that is, which works fine for some people. I expect to use this essentially for reference and not for divination. I'm sure that divination will work quite well with it, as it does with any large repository of randomizable information. But no, I will be using this just for reference, and probably in the way it was originally intended to be used, which is for study rather than for divination. And in fact, you might argue that these were originally created for playing games, but I think that that's just a facade for being able to encode occult practice information. Okay, so I'm giving you a quick look at the quality of the prints themselves. As you can see, the colors are very vibrant, very careful reproductions here. You can see the let me put the card actually down so we get a bit less handshake. There we go. You can see the places where the tools that were cutting the copper with which these were printed originally. I mean, the originals were printed. You can see the individual cuts. Yeah. So yeah, that's really, really nice. I'm very, very pleased with the quality of the reproduction. However, let me show you something that I was a little bit surprised about. Can you see the difference in color in those edges? Yes, I was a little bit surprised, although you could argue that that's because the originals were different colors. Another thing that I was surprised with is the quality of the cut. I think that the die with which these were cut may not have been quite so precise. When they're all in the right order, this works just fine. But let me just take one of the trumps and put it into the middle of the deck. I'll be able to see if we can work out which one was the trump. Do you see that little one sticking out there? There we go. Yeah, so the way the cards were cut doesn't seem very even. Let's even take a bunch of trumps and put them into the middle of the deck so we can see that even better. Yeah, can you see that? Okay, so you get general idea that they're not 100% even, which means that your divination could be skewed if you're going to be using these for divination once again, which I don't intend to be. But I thought you might want to know that. With regards to the designs, you should know a couple of things if you're intending to buy this. First of all, it is a mostly male representation on the deck. I think there are possibly one or two cards, apart from the Queen's that have female characters on them. That's because the Mithric Mysteries were an exclusively male system, organization. And you should also know that, yeah, it can be quite ugly and quite violent in some places. However, if you're curious about lost occult traditions, I think this is absolutely fascinating. I think it's not just fascinating, but also quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. So there we go. So that's my review of the Lo Scarabeo Sola Busca tarocchi deck. I really hope you like it. I strongly recommend picking up a deck. And if you can't pick up a deck, at least pick up a copy of the book, which I will review in detail very shortly, as soon as I've finished reading the entire thing. Just because it's so much fun, it's really so much fun to just discover new things about each of these cards, which, yeah, on the surface they look pretty similar to each other. Yeah, very large figures taking up most of the card, but there are these little tiny details that you just don't notice upon first inspection, and with a bit more information you can work out exactly why it's there, and it all comes together in just so nicely, and it makes you feel very clever. Strong recommendation. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to leave us a thumbs up if you did like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.